जीवन है, life है. So there's bound to be challenges, there's bound to be unhappiness. But if I have a grip over myself and a firm conviction, and I have accordingly developed my personality to be able to get up and face all these and say, okay, they have come, lemons have come my way, let me make my life into a lemonade by celebrating life, and therefore I refuse to be unhappy. So, what are those major concerns? List them out. Pick up those that are hurting you the most at the moment. You must handle these on top priority. Now, we'll come to that in more detail about how to validate them, those concerns. Then make a list of those things that make you happy. होंगी ना बहुत सारी चीजें होंगी which make you happy. Make a list of those things that make you unhappy. लंबी लिस्ट रहती है. All those little things that make you unhappy. And you need to ponder and think, because just go back to those moments when you were happy. And what was it that made you happy then? What was it that made you happy? List that. Because that's perhaps your. कोई तो भी अच्छी धुन सुनी, अच्छा गाना सुना, एक अच्छा बहुत नज़ारा देखा, कोई अच्छे फ्रेंड से मिले, spend some quality time. I saw a good movie. I went to a good musical recital. I came back very happy. And unhappy, also, there will be 101 instances. अब मजा क्या आती है कि जो चीज़ें हमको unhappy करती ना, वो majority of them are beyond our control. For example, the traffic in Nagpur, source of big unhappiness for everyone. So what is in my control? How can I refuse to be unhappy with this traffic? करो ना brainstorm करो ना, सब मेरे को ही बोलने लगा रहता है.
I go by metro.
Oh, lovely. She goes by metro.
I don't let the traffic affect me at all.
So what do you do?
I follow the no honking very, very religiously. I don't like to honk. I get honked at. That also.
That's nice. The point I'm trying to make is कि जब आप ये लिस्ट बनाओगे ना कि कौन सी चीज़ों से मैं अनहैप्पी होता हूँ, तो तुमको ये क्लियर होते जाएगा धीरे 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 कि इसमें से कौन सी चीज़ है जो तुम सुधार सकते हो एक्चुअली. उसको वैलिडेट करना है. वो अनहैप्पीनेस किसकी वजह से है? Is that unhappiness something that I can help control? Then how do we validate all my concerns in life? I validate them by finding out how many of them are something that I can do something about. What I can do something about, which means where I have influence. I should be concerned about it and let me act on it. But those which are outside my entire circle of influence but are causing unhappiness to me, I need to take them out of my psyche.
In this context, there is a saying that whenever we face difficulties or unhappiness, so it says that give me the strength to make the changes to overcome those unhappiness, and give me the power to understand that I cannot change it, so I accept it.
Correct.
And then it says, give me the wisdom to identify the difference between the two, what I can accept and what I can overcome.
Wonderful. Thanks Nilanjan for pointing out. Jayashri, this is exactly what we are going to do through this course. वो जो चीज़ें हमने एक्सेप्ट कर लिए ना कि ये अनहैप्पीनेस है और ये वाला चलते रहेगा, I have to develop an attitude to accept this. No. We are going to pray to God, and through this exercise we are going to work towards it कि how do I gain the wisdom to identify कि ये valid है कि नहीं है. Okay? So moving on. Now with this, me, my personal as I am, my tridimensional personality, the quality of my emotions, my intellect, my body, my health, everything, and my family life, my financial life, my social life, ये सब हमने समझ लिया. समझने के बाद में हमारे सामने में कुछ क्लैरिटी होते जा रही कि मैं ऐसा हूँ. It needs further and further review. Believe me, we are never honest in the first time. We are still playing games with ourselves. Because मेरे को जितना डेप्थ में जाओगे ना उतना समझ में आएगा. So what do we do now? After all this, we come to the next point, which is very, very interesting, is to work towards my happiness and take this bold decision. I am underlining bold decision. It's not a stupid decision. It's a bold decision to say, I refuse to be unhappy. What we need is a healthy self-image. How I look upon myself. What is my self-image? If I have a healthy self-image, well, I'll have the confidence to get up and say, okay, I refuse to be, which doesn't mean I will not be unhappy. Things will happen where unhappiness will come. It is a momentary thing. Like happiness is also momentary in the external context. Things same thing. But when I say I refuse to be unhappy, I will find out quickly the way to get out of it. Okay? Everything that we think, we do or do not do, or we say and not say, is a manifestation of our self-image. To understand this better, let us see what are the manifestations of a poor self-image.
There is that moment where you realize that I am getting in the unhappy zone and I switch back, ki nahi, this is not, I don't want this to affect me, and I come back. So, but does that mean that I am brushing that topic below the carpet and leaving it unattended so that it is going to come back with becoming a monster tomorrow?
I am happy you asked this question. You see, it's not running away from that moment. What am I doing when I say I refuse to be unhappy? That thing which is causing me unhappiness has come my way. All right? Now, I am facing it. I am facing it with the determination that its potency to make me unhappy, I recognize. It has that potential. But then I start validating it by applying my mind to evaluate that cause. For example, death of a loved one. It's not going to make you happy, for sure. It is unhappiness. It is sad. And in that moment, I have to face it. So what is the first trigger that will come to my mind? Uski yaad aati hai, rona aata hai. And it's not shameful to cry. It has to come out of your system. There has to be a closure somewhere. So you see all that, but then validate by saying, what do? You go to the positives. Okay, so and so lived such good quality life, she lived so much well, she was happy, like Mr. Hazare was telling us that his mother lived a beautiful long life. So you can't be happy that she died, but you cannot be sad also. Now each one starts validating there. And that is when you start helping yourself that unhappiness doesn't take over you completely.
I'd like to ask you, on the topic of people living a good life, how do you rationalize tragedies then? How do you stay happy then?
Tragedies?
Tragedies in terms of people who couldn't live a good life, went away too soon, or a tragic loss. How do you rationalize that?
No, we don't rationalize it. We just sympathize with them. And if a thought is hurting, I found prayers are very helpful. There is something which is imponderable about life. We don't know where we've come from, where will we go, but there is a power who each one can interpret in his own way or whatever, and pray for the wellness of that person. But tragedies, yes, you sympathize with them. But beyond that, you cannot do anything. But they can't make you unhappy to the extent that your work is suffering, your own daily life is suffering. No, that's foolishness. You know, there was a very beautiful movie, I always tell in these classes, called I Will Cry Tomorrow. There is the story of this lady, जिसकी लाइफ में बहुत संकट आते हैं. It's about, I'd seen it in many years ago. It's a Bollywood film, Hollywood film, and everything is totally at a ye, and all that she knows that she is there for herself, and she has to take a grip of it. And the mind wants to cry, why me? मेरे साथ ये tragedy क्यों हुई? मेरे को ऐसा क्यों हुआ? Sympathy चाहिए रहती उसकी. And she refuses to give her own self-sympathy. You know, we give ourselves the bichara you, and then I really feel bichara. But here she tells herself, I will cry, but tomorrow, not today. I don't have the time.
So it's often the first arrow that is shot at you, and the subsequent arrows are you shooting them at yourself.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Keep on basking in that and make an ass of yourself.
How important is it to justify your grief? everyone has a different way of grieving, and I believe it is a societal pressure a lot of people face in terms of how they grieve a loss.
See, I tell you what, you can't live by what people will think. You do what you feel. If your grief is so much, you will not feel like going and enjoying in a restaurant. But if you've gotten over your grief and लोग क्या बोलेंगे करके तुम रेस्टोरेंट में नहीं जाओगे तो बिल्कुल ही गलत है. Be yourself, be your true self, and people either ways will have comments. So what is a person with a poor self-image like? He is critical. He poor at complimenting others, appreciating others, but come to criticize, he will be the first one to come and criticize. For example, एक कमरे में आते साथ यहाँ की अच्छी अच्छी क्या चीज़ें देखने के बजाय में यहाँ पे क्या अच्छा नहीं है वो उसकी नज़र में पहले आएगा. तुम उसको मिले हो, तुमको लग रहा है यू आर हैप्पी विथ योर सेल्फ एंड दे विल कम एंड से तुम ऐसे क्यों दिख रहे, ये ना कर दिया ना फुस उसको. But this is a reflection of his poor self-image. Number 2, jealous. They just cannot digest the success of the other person. Just cannot digest. And therefore they want to find out more. They would love to have a gossip about it. You know, success mila यानी setting किया, कैसे क्या हुआ, these kind of things. But jealousy is an inherent weakness. And that weakness, if it is not controlled, it is a manifestation of a poor self-image. अब छोटे से बच्चों में अगर देखोगे तो लिटिल किड्स 1 year and 1.5 year और 2 year, एक टॉय दिया, एक को दिया दूसरे को नहीं दिया, the other fellow will attack it, and want it. It's in, I mean मैं बोला ना वो षड रिपु जो है, they are born with us, they are a part of us. The beauty and art of living is to control them. But uncontrolled jealousy is manifestation of a poor self-image. Gossipy in nature. Loves maligning people. Now, do you do good gossip? Is there a good gossip and a bad gossip? Have you heard anyone say very nice things in gossip? नहीं ना, never. I haven't yet come across. Is there some such? आप लोगों को ladies को तो और मालूम होगा. But in this get-togethers and things like that, gossip is normally maligning people. ने क्या और जो हाजिर नहीं उसकी पूरी खाल उतारना. That is what gossiping is all about. But a person with poor self-image does that. It's a manifestation behind their back, especially of people who are successful. Unki gossip karna, such a person loves. A person with poor self-image is uncomfortable when he is alone. He needs noise. He needs company all the time. He is sort of insecure with his own self. Ponder, because these come to us as a ye, but ponder, is it possible for me to just be by myself, do nothing, and be at peace and happy and not insecure? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, what is the threshold? And this drunken monkey, the mind is jumping inside. Can I quieten it? Do I have the mechanism to be at peace with myself? Vichar kariye. Such a person displays I don't care attitude. Very rude in his behavior outside. मोटरसाइकिल चलाएगा, खूब जोर से जाएगा, कपड़े पहनेगा, फ्लैशी पहनेगा, आएगा तो भी rude behavior. You know, you see some people in the year talk loudly, attention seeking, make a big tall statement as the. This is not a reflection of confidence. It's a poor self-image. Social rudeness, social bad behavior is a reflection of poor self-image. Gives too much of emphasis to material things, external appearances, brand values. पूरा धंधा दुनिया में commercial business thrives on this manifestation of poor self-image. They don't let you remain satisfied with one brand. There is always an upgradation. There is always एक टीवी खरीद के घर आके सुख से बोले अभी चलो जिंदगी के लिए निश्चिंत हो गए, आप टीवी देखेंगे आराम से, 2 साल के अंदर आपको आता आउटडेटेड है, ये टेक्नोलॉजी बदल गई, बदलो जी, फलाना करो डिकाना. No, you have to decide for yourself. But if you have a poor self-image, your emphasis will be so much given to these things. I know people who do not feel confidence unless they are wearing branded clothes, branded shoes, ब्रांड वैल्यू एंड एक्सटर्नल अपीयरेंसेस को इतना लोग इंपॉर्टेंस देते हैं, दे आर सो अनकंफर्टेबल.
You know, like from we are having a youthful look, you know, 30, mid 30s, and slowly we start losing that beauty, you know, a beauty of a woman or beauty of a man. The hair starts growing, start developing paunch. You know, then I start using makeup and do all kinds of things to make me look good, make me look acceptable to me. And it is a major pain. You know, there I have seen instances where people can do anything to have a youthful look.
I know of one person, his eyes had started blinking because of a nerve control problem with the eyelids. Somebody told him that you go and get Botox done in your eyelids. So he, poor chap, he went there, he got the Botox done and he couldn't close his eyelids. And they were like this, like headlights on, and he had to pull them down. So when I met him, he said, "Kahan marne ko gaya main?" Bole, "Inhone mere ko." You know, so, but for external appearances, people do anything. Spend crores of rupees, lakhs of rupees, wig पहनते, ये करते, वो करते. हर एक को अपना अपना decide करना है what they want to. But the psychologists say that a person with a poor self-image has too much of emphasis for external appearance.
The social group wants you to behave in a specific manner, in the way they want you to, their expectations of you. And when you don't comply, they make you feel bad. Acceptability starts becoming an issue.
Yeah, but Ranjit, there my take is, if I'm a social person, black tie dinner में बुलाया तो I can't go wear कुर्ता पैजामा पहन के वहाँ पे जाना. I won't do that.
असं करता करता ना काय होतं की you don't care, then you feel की इथे जाण्याची आवश्यकताच नाही आहे. So you start quitting. की जानने ना काय को करना है. मग एक ग्रुप सोडतो आपण, मग दुसरा ग्रुप सोडतो. असं किती सोडणार आहे मला कळतच नाही आहे. म्हणजे
लोगों का रेस्पॉन्स एंड ऑल ये सब ना अपने कंट्रोल के बाहर की चीजें रंजित. सो इन अ ग्रुप, इफ द ग्रुप इज एक्सपेक्टिंग यू टू डू दिस काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग, यू डोंट हैव टू लीव द ग्रुप, बट बी योरसेल्फ ना, एज लॉन्ग एज यू आर एंजॉयिंग इट. व्हाई डू यू वांट टू लीव देम? एंजॉय. अपना मतलब देखो. तुमको आनंद आ रहा ना, तुमको नहीं आ रहा तो मत जाओ. आई कैन अग्री. हाँ, पर्सन विद अ पुअर सेल्फ इमेज सेज यस फटक से, overcommits. Why has he said yes fatak se? Because he hasn't given it a thought. Because he doesn't feel it is so important to fulfill what he said yes. Will you say yes quickly to I tell you ki Avanti, let's meet at 11 o'clock for coffee at here? Will you say yes? If you have a poor self-image, you will say yes. Otherwise, 11, no, I've got this commitment. Thinking hota hai na, uske बाद में not possible or possible, whatever. बट ए पर्सन विद अ पुअर सेल्फ इमेज, आप इमेजिन करिए बहुत से लोगों ने आपको येस बोलूंगा, डन, इट विल बी डन, एंड इट नेवर हैपेंस. सच अ पुअर सेल्फ इमेज इज मैनिफेस्टेड लाइक दिस. overcommits. A person with a poor self image is erratic in his behavior, sometimes very sweet and nice, and sometimes ekdam totally a different madman, very unconcerned. Suddenly, you don't know why is he like this, blow hot, blow cold kind of a thing. But it's his poor self-image. And finally, a person with a poor self-image is always a coward within himself. He is not a brave person. He cannot face fear, anxiety. उसमें डर रहता है, वो डरपोक रहता है, बाहर से दिखाता है बहुत एरोगेंट है, बाहर से दिखाता है बहुत उसमें ये है. So the reasons, what are the reasons of this poor self-image? Nobody asked for them. We never wished. Nobody ever, I mean our parents never wished it for us, neither did we wish for them. But why does a person develop a poor self-image? इसको समझना बहुत जरूरी है. Garbage is dumped into the child from childhood. And what is that garbage? When the child starts running, how many parents have said, दौड़ 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 बेटा, गिरेगा तो कोई problem नहीं. What is normally said? Parshil, be careful, गिरेगा. और नहीं सुना तो फिर कौन आने वाला? बुढ़ा बाबा आके ले जाएगा. Now weak minds that you are not capable. इसका मैसेज क्या जाता है वीक माइंड में, एंड दिस इज साइकोलॉजिस्ट विल बेयर दिस फैक्ट. द वीक माइंड अब्जॉर्ब्स दिस कि I am not capable. I cannot. So a person with a weak mind absorbs this and it stays there in the subconscious. So this garbage has been dumped and we have not been able to get it out of our system. So what happens? A belief in I am not capable starts developing. मेरे से नहीं हो सकता है. How many people have said this? कि I cannot do it, I am not capable.
Do you think that this is the start where the weak mind actually begins to manifest? Because I don't think anybody is born with a weak mind.
I don't know whether that is the moment of creating of weak mind, because I have not studied this subject so much, but I do certainly know that weak minds absorb this. For example, you see some parents say कि वो हमारे वो बड़े वाले को कुछ मत बताना, useless है, वो छोटा वाला जो है वो अच्छा है, वो कर देगा काम. The बड़ा वाला ensures he becomes useless. Because from childhood, and parents do this mistake. Parents have been, and not that they have done it purposely, unknowingly, but the weak mind has absorbed this. Especially the child, number 2 child is always much more aggressive, much more wanting to achieve than the number 1, because the number 1 is ladla. He wants that lad and prem all the time. So he is not reprimanded as much as the second one, but the second one then it grows in competition and therefore becomes much more fitter. That's one. The other thing is belief in natural born. This is a syndrome where, for example, public speaking. They used to say about Atal Bihari Vajpayee को कभी भी नींद से उठा दो, भाषण देने बोल दो, वो naturally बोलने लगते. Do you think it must have been there? कितना अभ्यास किया होगा उन्होंने? कितने विचार? What is public speaking? It is presentation of thoughts in a very logical, controlled, entertaining manner. And it cannot happen like that. There's a difference. There are good orators, bad orators. I understand. But doesn't mean I cannot at least deliver a good speech by preparing properly. But क्या हो जाता है? When I believe in something natural born, I'll never make an effort to improve. Either it is in you or it is not in you. So this belief is one of the reasons why self-image is also poor. The next is too much of value is given to external appearance. Especially this happens in middle class families, not the very poor ones, because वहाँ पे it's hand to mouth existence. So we are not talking of them. But the moment that it's from middle class upwards up to higher middle class, that you find in the young children this syndrome a lot because of comparison. They see around themselves that people are getting so much more and your dad is not able to provide for you, you are not getting that kind of a thing. And the value is given to that in a. Now if the parents were to say कि बेटा अभी नहीं है, जब कमाएंगे तब कमाएंगे, अभी तुम पढ़ाई पे concentrate करो, you are such a good boy, you don't need 2 more trousers, you don't need to have that. Depends on the values which the parents inculcate in the child. But societal pressure बहुत रहता है external appearance का. And if the child gives that value and it is not helped by the family, कि वो external value important है पर अभी नहीं है, अगर अपने capacity में नहीं है, doesn't mean that you are bad or poor. No. जब कमाओगे कमाओगे, पर वो नहीं होने की वजह से poor self-image होता है. So economic disparity is one of the major reasons of creating a poor self-image. Comparing yourself with the best in others, thus feeling inadequate all the time. गाने का क्लास शुरू किया and then you're comparing your last song with Lata Mangeshkar. Disaster, na? But if you compare yourself with your last song and find that you've improved, what confidence आएगा? But हम लोग generally क्या करते हैं? Compare yourself with the best, compare yourself with the richest, compare yourself with the strongest. Everywhere. It's a human folly.
We also compare ourselves with the best version of them versus the learning version of ours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what happens is, because of all this, your balance sheet of life has more liabilities than assets. We have never made a list of our assets. First is our physical assets. A brain that functions properly. A heart that beats well. Kidneys that function well, liver that works well, limbs that, look at the value of all this. When you people who don't have it, जब उनको हम देखते हैं तब पता चलता है कि इसकी कीमत क्या है, बट वी टेक इट फॉर ग्रांटेड. फर्स्ट मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ व्हाट एसेट्स यू हैव नेचुरली by finding out the value of all those which you people who don't have them. Then your liabilities will be your inability to control your temper, फलाना ढिकाना. पर assets जो है वो भी तो पहले देखो. You can't just have liabilities. I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this, I don't have that. So make a proper list of your balance sheet. बड़ा मजा आता है ये बनाने के लिए. ये intangible है, इसके rupees आना ही नहीं है. But what I have and what I don't have. He is a prisoner of hope. Prisoner of hope यानी something will happen and everything will be all right. इस आशा में वो कुछ effort ही नहीं करता. There is going to be something is going to happen and everything is going to be all right. Does it ever happen in life like that? There is a problem and you feel ऐसे बात कर बंद करके बैठ गए कि नहीं कुछ तो भी होने वाला और सब ठीक होने वाला. Not possible ना. बट वो अगर बहुत लोगों को वो प्रिजनर ऑफ होप रहती है और उसकी वजह से पुअर सेल्फ इमेज बनता है. एंड लास्टली योर कंसर्न्स आर फार बियॉन्ड योर सर्कल ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस, सो यू फील फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड दैट फ्रस्ट्रेशन क्रिएट्स ए पुअर सेल्फ इमेज. What happens is if my concerns are far too larger than the scope of my influence, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it and feel frustrated, inadequate. And that is going to create a poor self-image within me. Okay? So we have understood what are the manifestations of poor self-image and what are the causes. There are 15 steps towards developing a healthy self-image. Okay, how do I develop? I have identified that in certain areas my self-image is not really good. So how do I take those steps and improve that self-image? Because why do I want to improve my self-image? Because I refuse to be unhappy. So friends, thank you so much. Join us in this journey of trying to find out the scope of happiness in life. I'm sure you have found this enjoyable and will also be there for the next session. Thank you so much.